Hey there everyone, and welcome to another new video. A unique one actually. This video idea sprouted out from a post on a forum that I saw online. Let me read out to you what it says. So this post came from a particular thread on GameFAQs at gamespot.com, where the thread title starts with, "Is Angelina that good? She doesn't even attack all the time." The first post was created by Exxon Mal 7 months ago, where he said, "I borrowed friend Angelina several times to see if she's OP enough for me to pull or buy her from certificate store. But she felt underwhelming just standing there, charging her skill 2 or skill 3 I forgot. I even let an enemy enter my base when I deployed her second after a vanguard, and she didn't do anything as they overwhelmed my first vanguard. Other characters can at least help with DPS until they pull out their big guns." This post was made 7 months ago, so I would think that the opinion of this guy has probably changed within the course of time. I think we all know that Angelina can be a powerhouse despite not attacking all the time, clearly from our experience in CC Pirate and CC Blade. However, I want to touch on a different matter of Angelina, which is a talent that gives all allies 7 additional ASPD, or 8 when max potential. Does this particular talent even help in any way? Or let's make it a bigger question, that is, are operators that provide ASPD buffs even that significant? And how do you understand what ASPD means actually? If you take the time to source online for explanations on ASPD, you will find yourself stumped by complicated looking formulas that gets you going like, what the hell are you even reading? I'm gonna explain the concept of ASPD much simpler for you guys. ASPD stands for attack speed, which is basically a percentage. All operators share the same starting flat base number of 100. For example, Blaze and Silver Ash, who have no ASPD buffs, will both have 100 ASPD, operating at 100% of the speed they should each be at. What I mean by what they should be at is that Blaze and Silver Ash have different attack intervals. Attack interval means the amount of time it takes for each attack to happen. On Game Press, it states that Blaze has 1.2 seconds per hit, while Silver Ash has 1.3 seconds per hit. Now you are going to get confused at what I'm about to say, but I am going to treat the acronym ASPD differently from the full word attack speed from here on. ASPD is a percentage, as I mentioned, though its full form says attack speed. Attack speed in proper English terms should mean the number of attacks per second. That's what speed means in math, where your car drives at 100 miles per hour, so in 1 hour it clocks 100 miles in distance. The next thing to understand is that attack speed and attack interval are inversely related. To get attack speed, you take 1 divided by attack interval. Using Blaze as an example, 1 divided by 1.2 is 0.83, which means that in 1 second, she deals 0.83 hits. If you take 1 divided by attack speed, you will get the attack interval back. Of course, number of hits cannot be a decimal. You can't land half a punch, but this is an important number we are going to use in all the problematic calculations later on. To set the record straight here, attack speed and ASPD are going to mean 2 different things. Now let's put another 2 operators side by side, where one has her own ASPD buff and the other without, which would be Exia and Blue Poison. They both have an attack interval of 1 second per hit. If you do the math as I taught you just now, 1 divided by 1 is still 1, so they both do 1 hit per second. When you promote Exia or get potential 3, she gets ASPD talents. We will use her max Elite 2 potential 3 self for this example, where she gets 15 ASPD. This means that she is producing damage at 115% of a faster speed. Percentage can be changed to a fraction or decimal, either 115 over 100 or written as 1.15. You take this percentage multiplied by her attack speed that we got just now, that is 1 hit per second, to get her final new attack speed, which will be 1.15. So she deals 1.15 hits per second. If you want to change this back to attack interval because you prefer hearing the number of seconds that she takes to land 1 hit, which is also a more realistic number, you take 1 divided by 1.15, which is 0.87 seconds per hit. If we stretch this out to a time frame of 100 seconds, Exia would shoot a total of 115 times, while Blue Poison shoots 100 times. It doesn't make Blue Poison worse though, because her usually used skill 1 lets her shoot more than 1 target, unlike Exia. Now there is one more part that we must add to this ASPD lesson, that some operators have skills that increase or decrease attack interval, and this will affect our calculations. Let me give you an example of Istina, where her talent increases ASPD, while her skill 1 decreases attack interval. Angelina at E2 max potential has an additional 21 ASPD. She has an attack interval of 1.9 seconds. Get the attack speed, multiply by the increased percentage and change it back to attack interval. She has an improved attack interval of 1.57 seconds per hit. Now, her skill 1 mastery tree says that there is a very significant attack interval reduction. Attack interval has been cut by 1.1 second. How do you put this number into calculating what is the new attack interval since she also has ASPD buff to herself? When this happens, you go through the exact same process I told you, except now attack interval has changed. So in your first step where you divide 1 by attack interval to get attack speed, you first change the base attack interval by what the skill says, subtract by 1.1. So now the attack interval is 0.8 seconds per hit without any ASPD buffs yet. Then, you continue with your calculation as per normal. 1 divided by 0.8 multiplied by the percentage boost in speed. Then 1 divided by this to get the final new attack interval, which in fact, a final attack interval is not 0.8 seconds per hit, but 0.66 seconds per hit. These kind of numbers are very important because this matters as to the number of hits that an operator will make when their skill is activated. Let me show you the best case study of this, which is Axia skill 3, under the influence of Elysium and Angelina. This was how my Risk 24 video was done, where I used Tones, who also has an ASPD buff and is also being assisted by Angelina. Axia skill 3 states that attack interval is reduced by a small amount, that is 0.11 seconds, while also having her ASPD buff of 12 ASPD, no potentials included. Get through the calculations and you'll find that she has a final attack interval of 0.794 seconds per hit, or per 5 hits, because that is what her skill tree is. In the 15 seconds of her skill duration, she can shoot 18 times 5 hits before her skill expires. Now let's plonk this in with Elysium, which a full potential 1 further adds the ASPD by 23 when his skill is running, giving Axia a total of 35 ASPD boost. The new attack interval now after calculating is 0.65 seconds per hit. In the same skill duration of hers, she can now land a total of 23 times 5 hits. That is 25 more good shots she can deal to the Avengers that will help a lot, especially with Shaman's debuff. I'll add the final blow to this calculation, that is with Angelina, which would give an attack interval of 0.62 seconds per 5 hits. That is sadly still some decimals away from actually hitting 24 times 5 times, so it is still 23 times 5 hits. But if Angelina had potential to make it 8 ASPD instead, an additional set of 5 hits can still help me very much. In this case, Angelina did not really help Axia, but she did help Tones, who hit 17 times within 15 seconds when he's alone. When Angelina is included, he lands an additional hit in 15 seconds, which in CC's context, the more hits in a shorter period of time, the merrier. Especially when all the damage I could do was within Shaman's door of 15 seconds. At the end of all this, is ASPD a king of a stat boost? I would not say it's as amazing as attack boost, but any additional ASPD increase or attack interval reduction is always a pleasure to help our runs become more secure, especially with my Blaze being able to grind faster to mow down all the enemies. I hope this video has helped you to clear up and understand better about the concept of ASPD. And if you like this video and want to see more of these stuff, do drop your like and subscribe. And comment down below if you have more questions or misconceptions that you want me to answer. See you in my next video. Bye bye.